welcome again to another edition of Couch Conversations, Frankston North Rotary's way of saying we can't physically get together right now, but we can find a way. And so today, our wonderful guest is Janet McCahon. Now, Janet is a bit of a trailblazer because from a Rotary point of view, she is the first female district governor in District 9820. But it's even more than that because Janet works as a councillor and a community support worker at Frankston Community Support. So we have a fabulous conversation lined up today. So let's say hello to Janet. Welcome, Janet.
Thank you. And hello to everybody that's watching.
Thank you. Excellent. Janet, there's a lot happening in the role. I want to talk about the role that you have in at Frankston Community Support. There's a lot happening out there at the moment. And can you fill us in about what's really going on out in the community that many people may not see, but behind the scenes, you're seeing quite a lot happening, aren't you?
Yeah, look, it's been really quite sad to see the amount of people who have lost their jobs, or those that are on disability pensions too, that are finding it really hard to get through this because it's a scary time. It really is. People are really unaware of what's happening and, you know, the COVID scare's there, well, alive and well. So as a support unit, we're there to help anybody that needs some support, whether it be financial or whether it be goods in kind or food, help, an ear to talk to, someone to listen to their worries and their concerns. But what we did to start with once COVID started, we realised the amount of people that really needed extra food. So we started off by providing a lunch every day, a hot lunch, which was provided through the Meals on Wheels people. And we had a wonderful volunteer team that did that every day. So we'd have people queuing up, coming for their hot lunch every day. And at one stage, we were having 70 people a day come for lunch.
Wow, that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a lot. Yeah. But then on the other hand, a lot of people are saying, well, okay, New Start was altered and the money was increased by 100%. So why are they coming for help if they've got an extra, you know, $300-400 a pay coming through? But what a lot of those people did with the extra money, they put the tyres on the car that they couldn't afford before. They got the children's teeth fixed. They got the fridge fixed that was broken or the washing machine that was broken. And they did a lot of things like that they'd put on the back burner because they couldn't live on their $30-odd a day on New Start.
Yeah, totally understandable, isn't it? Because when you're doing it kind of thin on the line, there's a great big to-do list. But there's never the funds to do it. And they're just as equally as important as day-to-day life, like teeth and car safety. And
yeah, absolutely. So because of that, we were very sympathetic to those that, you know, needed that extra help. So we've been able to sort of help people there with their registration. And normally we help with this with registration papers. The car might need, like we had a guy the other day who had bought the tyres but had run out of money and didn't have the $100 to get them actually fitted. And he was down to the rims. So he was leaving sparks on the road. So he really needed the tyres. So we were able to give him $100 to go to Tyre Power. And I mean, we didn't give him the $100. We gave him a cheque for Tyre Power. And off he went and had the tyres fitted. So, I mean, you know, he was really happy with that. That meant he could go and job search because he had a vehicle that was then roadworthy. So they're the sort of things that we help with, not just with food. So the way we run now is that if people want help, they ring us. They do. We fill out a form on the phone with our receptionist, our team there. Fill out the form. It comes down to the interviewers, and we ring them back and then have a chat and say, well, you know, my opening words are, "What's happening? Tell me what's happening today." You know, you rung us because you've got a problem. So let's talk about your problem. What's happening?
Yeah, wonderful.
And once they get a feeling that you're there to support them and not say, well, what do you mean you've run out of money? What do you mean you've gone 5 days and spent it all? Why have you spent it all? Well, I paid rent. Car registration was due. I had an electricity bill. I've got a loan with Centrelink because I couldn't pay the electricity bill. So then we go through, have you got the $250 from the government for your utilities? And there's lots of ways we can help.
Yeah, I think it's important that people recognise when they seek help because for some people during COVID, part of it is it's the first time they've ever had to ask for help. And there's a element of pride, isn't there? In, you know, people want to be independent, no matter, you know, who you are, what your name is, what your background is. You still got an element of pride about being okay with yourself. So to ask for help is a big step. And I love, Janet, how you kind of make it a judgment-free zone by saying, you know, what's going on? How can
the conversation is, I get that. I get that. There's this group of people now that I've sort of nicknamed the new poor.
The new poor?
The new poor. And the first time I encountered this, it sent a chill down my spine, because I thought, this is a whole new group of people who are looking for help. So let's do a scenario here that Dad's got a fairly good job, been there a long, long time. Mum's worked all her life as well. Kids are off. A couple of them have got apprenticeships, but they're still living at home. Suddenly the job that Dad had was bringing in a little bit of money, so they decided that they'd buy a second property, looking at their retirement, self-funded retiree. So we'll buy a second property, and that will set us up in our retirement in 30 years' time. Suddenly Dad loses his job because the business, the factory or whatever where he was working, is suddenly closed.
Yeah.
He has no job. Mum's got a job as, let's say, in a creche. Well, that closed, didn't it? So she doesn't work. The two kids who are the apprentices, who are helping perhaps $100 a week out of their meagre pay as apprenticeships to help pay those two mortgages plus the rent coming in from the second property, suddenly there's no income. But Centrelink doesn't give them any help because they've got a second property. So they can't apply for new staff or anything. They're just left out on a limb. So these people are coming to us really, really gutted, saying, I can't put bread on the table for my family.
Wow.
And to see a man just so embarrassed to come and ask for help and just say, I get it. I understand.
Janet, it reminds me of that old proverb or old saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Like, people have good intentions when they set out, like you're talking about the new poor, good intentions to go, well, you know, we'll set ourselves up so down the track we're not a burden on pensioners, on the incomes and stuff that the government has to pay. We'll create a good life for ourselves. We've got our good intentions of having a go, and then through no fault of their own, the circumstances of the environment and the politics and the health of the day, the notices, suddenly, like you say, there's not only people truly living on the poverty line, but there's a new class of poor coming through going, I've got to bite my pride and ask for help.
Yeah.
And
it's really, really sad, and it's really humbling for them.
Yeah.
But also, they're not the only ones, because the Kiwis don't get any help from Centrelink either.
So true.
Nor do the international students.
So true. Yeah. So this would be clients of yours coming to the support. Yeah.
We don't have that many international students because a lot of them went home at Christmas and haven't been able to get back. Christmas 12 months back. But the city support units are really finding them. And around Dandenong, they're looking after a lot of people up there who are
Janet, can I please ask, from the community support, Frankston Community Support Centre there, is there a lot of groups that actually support you, your guys, your team there? Yeah.
We wouldn't function without them. They are just amazing. Now, just to give you an idea, every Thursday we have the Oz Harvest truck roll in, and he brings in all the stuff from Aldi's or Safeway, Woolies, isn't it, Coles, whatever, and we get all the food from that. And there's a team of us that work in the shed, which I have to give credit to the Rotary Club of Frankston Sunrise for giving us our new big shed. Just give them a bit of a plug, because Rotary is such a support to us in every way. So we've got all that fresh food. Food bank too. We have a couple who go up every Monday to food bank and bring back lots of food. So then on top of that, we've got people like the Sikh community who are cooking meals for us every day. And that's fine if you're vegetarian, you can eat spice. So when I'm doing a food parcel for somebody, I always have to say, can you eat spicy food? Then there's the little side one. So we've got the legal services coffee van that comes around occasionally, and you can sit and have a cup of coffee and get some legal help. Then we've got Cleaners Casper, which is a mobile shower service that comes around. And then we've got Orange, which they open up the back of their truck and that's got a huge washing machine and
The fabulous laundry. Yeah, the mobile laundry. Yeah.
And then we've got lots of groups that help us with food. Like I do know that View is another one, but and schools help us. And if you have a look at, as you go into your local Woolies, you'll see a big bin to the right when you come in. And every Safeway Woolies has got one of these, and the food will go. I noticed the one in Mornington where I shop goes off to Fusion, which is another great charity in Mornington, Mount Martha. Yeah. So, people drop stuff in there and, pasta and dog food, and that brings to mind too another thing about animals. So, yes, we get a massive amount of support from the community.
Wonderful.
We're really lucky.
Wonderful.
We've got, a retired GP in Frankston actually wrote a book called Silver Linings, and we get all the profit from the book too.
Oh, how wonderful. Isn't that great?
Yes.
Janet, I'm going to pop up just coming up on the screen is the phone number for Frankston Community Support, and also an email address. So for people who would like to contact in the capacity of they need help or they'd like to offer some help, because some sorts of things that you'd welcome, what sort of assistance could you welcome and invite for people who can do something?
Do you know what I needed this week was toothpaste.
Toothpaste, as simple as that.
We've got a wonderful pantry, and in the pantry we've got staples. So if somebody wants a bag of food, then I can go in and I can get porridge, I can get UHT milk, I can get tea bags, coffee, and what else do I put in? Pasta sauces and all that sort of thing. But something I always put in is toothpaste and a new toothbrush. Toothpaste is really expensive.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
If you cut down on stuff, that suddenly becomes a luxury.
It becomes a compromise, doesn't it, whether you go without it or not, if you're down on your luck.
So, I ask the people, do you cook? Okay, so I can give you a pasta sauce with a tin of tuna and some pasta. Suddenly you've got a meal for 4 people.
Perfect, yeah.
And, you can make a meal out of nothing, really, if you're a bit clever.
So what about support like toothpaste, toothbrushes? Is there any clothing items you need? Or
no, we can't accept clothes, unfortunately, unless they're brand new socks.
Brand new socks are good? Yeah,
we love our socks, yeah.
Excellent.
And sometimes we're looking for jocks and things like that. Now, here's another Rotary Club. The Rotary Club of Seaford Carrum Downs are actually making up prison release packs.
Oh, wonderful.
So the day you're taken into custody are the clothes that you come out with. So if you go in the summer and you're discharged in the winter and you don't have a family network or somebody locally that can actually get you some warm clothes. We had a guy recently, pair of shorts, thongs and a T-shirt. Wow. So we're making up these prison release packs, and that's what Seaford Carrum Downs are doing. So we have tracksuit pants and some jocks and some socks and a singlet and a shaving kit and all that sort of thing.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. And Janet, just to finish, can I please ask? There's an original connection with Frankston North Rotary, isn't there, in the foundation of the.
Yeah, John Tame were just such a gem and was just such the mainstay as chairman for many, many years. Mm-hmm. And, of course, darling Peter, past District Governor Peter Newman, of course, was a trustee.
Wow, so there's been great support from Frankston Rotary. Yeah.
Very close relationship, yes.
Yeah,
if you talk about Rotary, it's always Frankston North that comes up first, absolutely.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Great. And I actually had a phone call from David Cahill not that long ago. What was he? He wanted something, Can we get you something? I can't remember.
Yeah.
What it was. I thought, David, yeah. So
Janet, I do want to say thank you very much for joining us today. Yourself and your team, absolute champions, helping people be okay in a judgment-free zone about asking for help. And also inviting any member of the community, if you can, volunteer in some capacity or donate something in a capacity that you're willing to do so. The phone number and the email are here. So get in touch with Janet and her team. And from Frankston Community Support. And please spread this message, share it around on your own social media pages to say, it's not just Rotary who can actually make a difference, and we do. Rotary teams absolutely do, but it's the wider community working together. How can we all work together, link each other's arms here and just say, we can all do a little bit of something which makes a big world of good for somebody else.
The next appeal that we're actually looking for is for Christmas because of all the hampers that people get.
Oh.
We're looking for money for our Christmas appeal. So have a word with John Tam and he'll explain exactly how you can help with that. That would be fantastic.
That would be fantastic. Okay. Well, Janet, thank you very much for your time today. And on behalf of everyone at Frankston North Rotary, thank you to you and your team for a great job that you're doing in our community.
It's a pleasure. Look forward to catching up again soon. Okay. Bye, everybody. Lovely to be here. Thank you. Bye.
You've been listening to Couch Conversations brought to you by Frankston North Rotary. To discover more about Rotary, ask a question, explore if Rotary is ideal for you, please connect on our Facebook page or via email.